Oh my God, people. I have just spent 2 hours watching a lecture on statistics in psychology, an introduction too. And I really need to talk about something like this instead. Apologies for my camera jumping up and down. I bought a new webcam, so I'm just doing this through the old laptop, which is just sitting on my bed, so everything's nice and bouncy, unfortunately. So guess what I got in the mail today? Oh, I'm not excited at all. These cute little cards by an Aussie guy called Scott Alexander King. Now, they've been around for like ages, I think. 10 years ago is the copyright in this little book. So once again, I'm coming into them late, but I'm really into animals, and I'm on this kick about working with spirit animals and totems and whatnot. And so I got these cards, and the reason why I'm on this kick, if I can find it, if it's still here, is now I've only really worked with tarot before. I have never worked with a pendulum, but I got myself one a while ago off Etsy, and I decided to just test it out because I've never used one, and I was awestruck at how quickly this worked. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do a lot more reading into pendulums and dowsing, I guess. But I found out through this, because I've always been a mad animal woman. I joke about calling myself the crazy cat lady. I'm going to be a crazy dog lady in the future sometime, with the long flowing grey hair at that stage, and with my dog, or 10. Got to win the lotto so I can go live on a farm. But yes, I used this guy, and I asked about my animal guides, because I always assume it was like a dog or a wolf, because they're the ones I've the animals I've been drawn to. But this guy, quite surprisingly, indicated it was a dingo, which makes sense, I guess, since I'm from Australia. But yeah, I'm still in awe. I'm still completely awestruck on how powerful working with a pendulum is. And yes, I definitely need to do more reading. But anyway, and this is what's brought me to buy yet another deck. I do have a couple of animal decks. I think it's the Animism Tarot and the Animal Totem Tarot, and I'll probably I will look at them in another video. I've also got the Wolf Tarot deck as well, although that's more of an oracle deck, and that's beautiful. I do like that as well, but again, I'll look at that in another video. Just right at the moment, I want to take a quick break from statistics and do something, that's not statistics. So here we are, my mail. I've had a very quick look at these cards, and I actually quite like them. They're quite nice and very simple. I've also had a quick flip through of the little book there, little booklet that came with it, and I quite like it. It's actually got, of course, it's got a description of each card and what the card means and all that sort of stuff. It's also at the front, if I can find it. Here we go. It's got a number of spreads. I haven't tried one yet. Another spread, and there we go, another one. I think that's it. Oh no, the old 3 card spread as well. Yeah, so it's got, you know, it's a handful of spreads in it. Of course, a bit of a blurb about the cards themselves. And in there it says the purpose of the animal dreaming cards is to assist people in their healing, in their own personal connection to spirit, and in knowing and fulfilling their true purpose. So there you go. That's the reason why this bloke decided to do his animal dreaming oracle cards, I guess. So let's have a quick look through them. Oh, if I can get this right. Now these cards, I guess, come in 4 sections, which are related to the elements: air, water, fire, and earth. And I believe these blue cards are the air cards. And I'm not quite sure what these little symbols mean, unfortunately. I did not see it written in the book, so I'll have to look the book a bit further. But anyway, we'll have a bit of a flip through the cards, and we might draw one and see what it says at the end, hey? So anyway, we start off with the eagle for spirit. The lyrebird for genetic memory, which I'm assuming is, from having a quick look at the book before, is kind of like the collective unconscious. Not that I've done much on that for 25 years, but yeah. We got a cute little mouse for scrutiny. Butterfly for transformation, of course. So fitting. An owl for deception, which I thought was interesting. An oyster catcher for concealment. Dragonfly for illusion. Oh, it's one of my favorite little animals. Bilby for fear. I would have to look it up, but I'm wondering if the bilbies are endangered, or certain sort of types of bilbies. Don't quote me on that, but they could be. Brolga for dance. That reminds me of a Christmas carol, an Australian Christmas carol. I'm not going to sing it though. I won't subject the world to my singing. It's another one of my favourite little animals, the bat for rebirth. I love flying foxes. Unfortunately, Bo, my dog, doesn't. And we live across the road from a flying fox colony, so ugh. It's fun every night when he's barking at them when they fly off. Cockatoo for illumination. Hawk for messages. Okay, so that is the air cards, which I think, what has he written in here? He has written a bit, if I can find it quickly, about his the way he sort of looks at, excuse me, I got my contact in today so I can read, but it's quite painful. I can't see, but it's reading the cards. So the animal dreaming cards have been developed with the energies of the 4 directions in mind. with the traditional correspondences exclusive to each direction, determining the animals and the wisdom they impart. With the eagle, which was our first card, so with the eagle delegated as card number 0, representational of spirit, the first 11 cards symbolize the lessons of the East, collectively embracing the gifts of intuition, clarity of mind, and illumination. The East is governed by the element air and is the birthplace of the sun each day. It is that point in time where we enter the world as a newborn child, and the phase that allows us to trust our gut, knowing on things. And then we're going on to the next 11 cards, which harness the energy of north and the element of fire. So here are some of our fire. The emu as endurance, the cuscus as calmness, the snake as transmutation, the cassowary as respect. Now that is a bird I respect, and I would be quite fearful of if I was to come across one in the wild. The kookaburra for healing. I'm not quite sure, but as I said that, the kookaburra, we have a few kookaburras that hang around my place, and one just started to sing. He stopped quickly though. What a bummer, it would have been perfect if he kept going. Frogmouth for secret keeper. Busted for confidence. The ant for strength, of course. Horse for personal power. Lizard for daydreaming. Wallaby for progression. Okay, and that's the end of our fire cards. We move on to the element of water. So the next 11 cards, charged with the energies of the West and the element of water, embrace the emotions and the lessons of introspection, contemplation, and meditation. Exemplifying the energies at dusk, the West symbolically represent the phase in life where we find ourselves asking, is this it? And the choices that present themselves as a result. So we have the koala for inner journeys, platypus for women's mysteries, or women's wisdom, sorry. The raven for magic. The cute little fairy penguin for willpower. Oh, the good old magpie. It's magpie season here, so I haven't been swooped yet. I've been lucky, so touch wood. The magpie is balance. The crow as law. The frog as cleansing. Black swan for grace. Dolphin for breath. Whale for record keeper. Spider, weaver of dreams. Or for me at the moment, nightmares. Turtle, Mother Earth. The Tasmanian Devil for purification. Here's mine. The dingo, sorry, I can't even say it, for trickster. Now, just within the last 6 months, I have had the absolute pleasure of meeting a dingo and sort of spending a little bit of time more with a dingo. And I can definitely see the dingo as trickster, because they're just, this particular dingo was just absolutely beautiful, but very, very, very cheeky. Another one of my favorites, of course, is Dog for Loyalty. The Aussie cattle dog. Oh, another animal that's close to my heart, the thylacine, known as the Tasmanian tiger for wisdom. They have such a sad story, the thylacines. And I really, really, really hope that even though they're extinct, or classified as extinct, I really hope there's just a couple, more than a couple. You need a viable population, breeding population. But I really do hope in the deep, dark sort of forested areas of Tasmania that there's still some around. Red kangaroo for responsibility. The grey kangaroo for abundance. You know what? I have gone from water straight into earth. The earth cards, as you can tell by the colours of the borders. The possum for opportunity. Bowerbird for dowry. I think it's the male bowerbirds that collect all the trinkets in their nests to attract a female. The little wombat for gentle aggression. And the echidna for personal protection. There's another little guy I've had experience with recently. I had one, Bo, who's bouncing up and down on the bed here. He was barking one night, a few months ago now. You gonna come? And it was a weird bark. I've never sort of, it's not a normal bark, but that he does. So I went out and had a look, and there was an echidna in my yard, sort of just, burrowing down as they do to protect their undersides. All right, so this is the obligatory Bo moment in the video. It's my little man. It's quite hot today. All we've been doing is just laying around. We'll see if he sits here. So those are the cards of the Animal Dreaming Oracle by Scott Alexander King. They're quite lovely. I mean, they're very simple, but yeah, they're lovely illustrations. I'm not quite sure who the illustrator was. I know it wasn't him. I'll just quickly have a look if I can see it. This makes for exciting watching, doesn't it? Watch her look through a book to see who illustrated these cards. Oh, I'm not sure. I am not sure. I'll have to look into it a bit more. Oh, here it is. About the artist, Karen Branchflower, and she's another Australian. And she's a freelance illustrator, painter and sculptor. Let's do a bit of a shuffle and see which card we're going to pull. I think we might read about it, hey, and just have a bit of a look. Nice and easy to shuffle. Okay, one more. I'll just cut. Okay, now we have the horse for personal power. Number 20, we'll have a quick look. Okay, so Scott writes, excuse me, when first introduced, horse strengthened and deepened the people's view of the world. It afforded them greater understanding of the land because it allowed them to explore the horizon on a level never known before. With obvious links to movement and travel, I can't read. Anyway, let's try. With obvious links to movement and travel, horse sanctioned the exploration and conquering of the physical setting, the breaking of boundaries, and the expansion of territory. In similar fashion, horse dreaming embraces the essence of personal power and what it means to spiritually journey within, in search of inherent wisdom. Personal power represents the wealth of knowledge we may accumulate over a lifetime of experience, which, when honoured, shifts us from the mundane and familiar into a world of unlimited potential. According to tradition, a horse stands symbolically at each of the 4 cardinal points on the great wheel of life, with the yellow palomino protecting the east, the red chestnut standing in the north, the black horse guarding the west, and the white or dapple grey representing the energies of the south. Each of the 4 directions offers a sacred gift of power and a wealth of corresponding energetic wisdom. It is up to us to go out and spiritually seek this knowledge, and once found, integrate it into our life. Metaphorically, journeying to the east, for example, brings with it the gifts of illumination and introspection, while heading to the north inspires a healthy blend of innocence and passion. In the west, we learn to understand the art of introspection and meditation, and in the south, we are offered maturity and judgment. If horse has galloped into your cards today, you are being primed for a journey of great power. We all subconsciously know where our personal power lies, and as long as we instigate the search, we will ultimately find it, resulting in great rewards on all levels. Remember, all journeys start with a simple step forward, with any forward movement nurturing growth, and growth leading to development and enrichment. Promoting a sense of complete freedom, the appearance of horse suggests travel of all kinds, both inner and outward, emotional, physical, and spiritual. I quite like that. It's kind of nice. I think I'll enjoy working with these cards. Ultimately, I'm a tarot girl, but I am exploring some oracles lately. Actually, I've got one more in the mail, an Aboriginal deck coming from the UK, and I'm in Australia. How does that work? And I've got 2 other decks coming, and then that's it for me. No more, except for when there's one other I got my eye on that's due to be out soon. I'll see what price it is. But anyway, we'll leave you with this: horse and personal power.